Hello, everybody. A day early, but that's okay because tomorrow's a big day of Thanksgiving. And in honor of that, Will and I are here early this year. Yay, us. Will Johnson, the founder of Unite America First, and I'm Barry Nussbaum of American Truth Project. We're here to explain everything of the past week so you know what happened. Yay, us. Will, welcome aboard. How is your getting ready for Thanksgiving diet looking?
Oh man, I went to the gym this morning, Barry, and I think actually I just found out my gym's going to be open tomorrow, and I'm gonna go to the gym before I eat,
That's great.
so I can have an excuse to eat an
I
extra slice
got
of
it.
pie.
I got it. Well, I got news for you. Today, my wife is an amazing cook, and I have to be ready because every year I say, "Don't let me eat so much," right? And what can I say? I usually do. Uh,
hmm
what can I say? So, regardless, I'm very thankful to be here with you, my friend, and I hope that we can have a spectacular day here together. We have a tremendous amount to talk about. So let's get started. Very disconcerting news today out of Washington. Um, there are bomb threats and assassination attempts pouring in against Trump's new cabinet picks. Um, One in particular is someone I know, which is Elise Stefanik, who has been nominated to be ambassador to the United Nations. She's a brilliant young lady, an up and comer in the Republican Party. As the story goes, she and her husband were driving their kid to school. They got a call. There's been a bomb threat against your home. We're sending officers out there now. And then it turns out it wasn't just them. Law enforcement, including the Secret Service and the National Security Council, is saying a number of people are being targeted, starting with this one, Elise Stefanik. And these don't sound like jokes. The calls are saying that Trump, JD Vance, and so on are targeted, and there's going to be swatting as well on these people, which is, for those of you who don't know what it is, it's you make prank phone calls to emergency services like law enforcement in the middle of the night saying someone's breaking into my house, and they send 20 officers to Elise Stefanik's house. Uh, I don't ever remember anything like this happening before. I mean, never. Do you?
You know what you know what we're seeing, Barry? We're seeing a peaceful transfer of power. No, seriously, that's what we're seeing. That's what we're seeing. I mean, because we're talking about those that are inclusive, that are loving, that compassionate, that want to get along. This is how they express a peaceful transfer of power. Did you see the statement that President Trump's campaign put
No, I
out?
did not.
Did you- If I can, if it's okay with you, I'd like to read
Sure,
it real quick. It's
please.
not long. It says last night and this morning, several of President Trump's campaign nominees and administration appointees were targeted in violent, un American threats to their lives and those who live with them. These attacks range from bomb threats to swatting. In response, law enforcement and other authorities act quickly to ensure the safety of those who were targeted. President Trump and the entire transition team are grateful to their swift actions. And it also says President Trump and the transition team are focused on doing the work of uniting our nations by ensuring safety and prosperous future. With President Trump as our example, dangerous acts of intimidation and violence will not deter us. And as Caroline Levitt, she actually put out that statement from the Trump Vance campaign from the transition team. Because a lot of people were wondering, is it actually true? A lot of people were holding back from telling the story. And Barry, you're spot on. This story is actually happening, and this statement just came out. Not, I think maybe just an hour ago, if that.
Well, I got news for you. I don't ever remember anything like this happening, and I mean never happened,
Oh,
and
oh,
it seems like I it's sorta like the rules are now different, you know what I mean? Where, um, nobody's off limits, nothing's off limits, things that were talked about as never gonna happen are now happening.
yeah.
Is it really possible that this is the kind of stuff we can expect from now on, honestly?
No, yes, I think so. I mean, let's remember what happened twice to President Trump during the campaign trail. Twice. They tried to unalive him, right? You have to say it like that for the, the censorship thing. But yeah, they tried to unalive him twice. They've done everything to this man possible under the sun to try to stop him. Barry, they're even pushing for us to go into World War III. And it's not that they can stop President Trump from going into the White House, because based on the Constitution, there still has to be a transfer of power, regardless, because the people have spoken. So they have to do it, but their objective is to get President Trump so tied up with the conflict happening that his cabinet won't be able to do anything. The problem is that Putin didn't take the bait. Putin didn't set off a tactical nuke. So because he didn't do that, they're scrambling around trying to figure out what else can we do. And I've said this multiple times, because they failed on getting President Trump, they're going to go after those around him. And I call those soft targets. So now everyone that's coming under President Trump's cabinet, they're going to have to get their security beefed up. All of these phone calls that's going to their homes, to their loved ones' homes, they're going to have to do surveillance on those lines to find out who these people are. And they're not MAGA Republicans. It's not these extremist MAGA Republicans like they would love to point out. It's not them at all. We already know this. So after they can't get to them, who do you think the next soft target is going to be?
Yep. God help anyone that shows up here. So I got to Oh boy, we're ready. We're ready, my friend. And I'm really glad that those in charge are realizing there's a new sheriff in town and they're taking this seriously. God help anyone that shows up at anyone's house. It's going to be bad news bears. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, there's been rampant discussion about what went wrong uh, in the election for the Democrats. I've given it a lot of thought, and I think what's happened is, and I really think this is true. The Democrats were always the party of the working class and the minorities until they weren't. And what I mean by that is they just don't care. And they paraded out celebrity after celebrity, rich person after rich person who made goofball speeches about we're for you and you're with us and you're not black if you don't vote for us and all the Hispanics and the women and this and that. Take a look at this picture. These are three of the craziest left-wing nut jobs you can imagine. The one on the right is Bernie Sanders, who's nuts. The one in the middle is Elizabeth Warren, who's nuts. And the one on the left is infamous film director slash crazy person. And, you know, you look at them, they have 13 homes between them. They're worth $61 million. And they're discussing how they're the party of the poor people. Well, guess what? When you talk to the voters, the inner city voters, and you ask them, why aren't you with the Democrats? They're saying, they're not for us. They don't come down here but once every 4 years. They don't know what we're going through. They're not helping me put food on the table.
No.
They're not helping me put gas in the tank. You know, and you
No.
look at Michael Moore, who keeps making these, he's the director. He keeps making these movies about poor downtrodden Americans that have been left behind by the political establishment. He's the establishment. He's the guy that on election night guaranteed with his life that it would be a landslide for the Democrats. So did Elizabeth Warren. They are so out of touch.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's been a major realignment, don't you think?
Oh, Barry, it's so bad. There's members in the DNC union that have been laid off. They actually opened up a GoFundMe so people can donate to the DNC to try to help pay these people on their way out the door. It's so bad. Kamala Harris's team is down 20 million, which I know you're aware of because she took in $1.5 billion and they don't even know where the money went. They squandered the money. I mean, really, and she's supposed to manage it. There's been such a devastating blow to what I call the Democrat Party that we don't even know the whole spectrum yet. We don't know. Right now, they're all coming out trying to act like they're all together. We're still unified. We can do this. But Barry, they're pointing fingers at each other. They're blaming everybody but themselves. And they try to come across like, we're here for the small man, but we're going to make you pay more at the gas pump. We're going to make you pay more in groceries. We're going to make sure that your light bill, your gas bill is high. But we're here for you, the small man. But we're going to do all these terrible things to you because Michael Moore, Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders, they're all filthy rich. But listen, we understand your pain. These people, I mean, you can't make it up.
Look,
you can't make it up.
You can leave with this one thought, as you and I have talked about. You pay Beyonce, who's maybe the biggest entertainer, her or Taylor Swift. They say she got $10 million for 3 minutes. I don't know, but she wouldn't sing, and she read a script, and then they have other people, Megan Thee Stallion and Bruce Springsteen and Beyonce and
6 minutes for what, 10 million?
Yeah, what's the gal that has the filthy lyrics? She's kind
Eminem.
of no, the gal that
oh, you're talking about
Cardi B.
Cardi B.
She had to read it off her phone because she couldn't even talk, and she got millions.
Yeah.
I don't think those millions and millions and millions and millions of donated funds that were given to these celebrities bought one single vote. And the people that showed up, like you said, they came. I would have gone to a Beyonce concert. She's a great singer. I don't care about her politics. She dropped out of school in 8th grade. Bruce Springsteen dropped out of school in junior high school. Nobody wants their political opinions. We like their music in some cases.
I mean, absolutely. The same thing with movie stars, these people on Nuttywood. We like some of the movies that they put out. I don't care about their political view about any of this. And what I've noticed about Nuttywood, Barry, they believe in actually doing the right thing on the big screen. When it comes off the big screen, what are you talking about? We don't have morals in the real world. We're not actually trying to look out for children or any of that. That's for the big screen. We want to go in and take out the establishment on the big screen. You notice that they fight all of this corruption on the big screen, but in the real world, they support it.
Well, keep in mind, now one of those people writes those scripts, Will. They're professional liars. That's what an actor is. They pretend.
Yes. That's why they pretend like doing all the right things only belongs on the big screen, because we're just pretending.
Give me the script. What are my lines? Okay, give me an hour. I got it. And then they look at the camera with 100% sincerity and they say it. And then they go back to their trailer and do drugs or whatever. And then they do another movie. But God forbid you ever put them on a microphone. It's horrible. Cher went through 7th grade and she's giving people advice on how to vote. 7th grade. Would you go up to a 7th grader on the street and ask them how to vote? Of course you wouldn't.
No.
Even if it was Cher, even if she has one name.
Yeah.
Doesn't help.
Yeah, but all they do is they take these people that have a name, that have funds, money, a lot of money, and then and they circle around in these parties. Can I say did he do it or did he not? Okay, these parties. I think you know what I'm talking about. And that's who they elevate. And they believe that we, the American people, are so simple-minded that we have a movie star or a music star telling us how to think and what to do. But because they're so successful, they make so much money, so they know better than us. That's such a liberal thing to do. It really is. And it doesn't work. And it didn't work. You know what? Majority of the people in this country, they didn't buy into it. And they're upset with Elon Musk because of X. That's what, and you know what? They're even pointing the fingers at him. It's his fault. It's his fault because he allowed people to have open discussion. He allowed people to share information. We should be the only ones to share information and be able to tell you how to think and what to believe.
Actually, I think that's a really, really good quote that you could probably put next to any of these people's name, and it would be accurate, Will. Seriously,
Yes.
it would be accurate because
Very,
that's the way they think.
yeah, they've actually gone to the extent to try to take down influencers, podcasters on different platforms that were getting more views than them because they didn't want it to happen. I remember one year YouTube came out and put a statement saying that if you have breaking news, that you cannot break it. It has to be one of these established news organizations. Even though you were the one there, you the one recorded it, but you can't break the story.
Well said. Well, Pete Hegseth is a highly decorated major in the Army. He served for a number of years. He's announced as President Trump's nominee for U.S. Secretary of Defense. It's a very, very big job, very powerful. You're running all the armies of the United States, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, the Coast Guard, and so on. After his active duty, he ended up on Fox and Friends for 7 years, became quite popular, has written a very popular book, and he is under incredible pressure right now from the opposition to his nomination and confirmation because he has the audacity to say that men should not be in dresses in combat. By the way, I agree. Here's part of what he said, and this makes a lot of sense, and this is why he's under attack.
You got to fire the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, and you got to fire this. I mean, obviously, you're going to bring in a new Secretary of Defense, but any general that was involved, general, admiral, whatever that was involved in any of the DEI woke shit, has got to go. Either you're in for war fighting, and that's it. And that's the only litmus test we care about. You got to get DEI and CRT out of military academies, so you're not training young officers to be baptized in this type of thinking. And then, whatever the standards, whatever the combat standards were, say, in, I don't know, 1995, let's just make those the standards. And as far as recruiting, to hire the guy that, did Top Gun Maverick and create some real ads that motivate people to want to serve. And there's lots of other ways in which you could identify who gets promoted and what, but there's an ethos change. I mean, there's a reason people don't want to serve because they don't trust that their senior leaders are going to have their best interest in mind in combat. I know there were mistakes made on our tours all over the place, but I, at least for the most part, had a sense that my senior leaders were committed to the completion of the mission for the right reasons. And maybe there were strategic differences and all that other stuff, and it wasn't always perfect, but that trust is broken, and you have to reestablish that trust by putting in no-nonsense warfighters in those positions who aren't going to cater to the socially correct garbage.
He makes 2 or 3 points that I think are brilliant. Number one, when you're in the service, you're really, really, really physically and emotionally close with the guys in your unit.
You become brothers.
Yeah, and if you're in combat, there is no privacy, and you're all there together. And the last thing anyone needs is to be distracted by someone who has a mental problem, which is basically what we're talking about. I played for you a couple months ago that Navy recruiting video of all the guys prancing around on the aircraft carrier in pink saying they're proud of their, whatever you call it, their squad on the USS Goofball, and that other people should come and enlist with them. Not one branch of the service is meeting their requirements for enlistment. You want to know why?
DEI.
Bingo. It's shouldn't be based on the color of your skin, shouldn't be based on your sexual orientation, shouldn't be based on your sex. It ought to be based on competency. I mean, if we're fighting in a war, the other side is not looking, oh, well, Betsy, who's now Barney, has an adorable outfit, and I love those earrings. I'm not going to shoot him, it, because his pronouns are confusing me. No, it doesn't work like that. The other thing that I find really disconcerting is people are being passed over for promotions or even being kicked out of the service for DEI violations. And like Hegseth says, that all those admirals and generals, people in high command, kick them out for destroying the armed services. And in a couple of years, everything will be perfect. Do you agree?
Oh, 100%, Barry. The morale in the U.S. military is at an all-time low. They're having to worry about your commanding officer coming down on you because you don't want to give in to the woke DEI agenda that they were pushing. The U.S. military, not you and I have had this discussion before. The U.S. military, the doctor's office, when you go to the jail, when you go to the courtroom, the federal government, these locations should always stick to reality. No deviating from it. If you're a police officer and you happen to pull someone over and you get in a confrontation with this person, a male police officer is going to treat a woman different than he's going to treat a man. Plain and simple. And I don't even care if this man has on a dress. He's going to end up treating him like a man, especially once he realized that this is a man. It's not going to, because he can't. He has to. When you're a doctor and you have to treat these people and they come in and they have certain things going on with them, and you're a man and you come in and you're wearing a dress, the doctor doesn't have a choice but to treat you like a man. And the most disturbing, when I brought it in talking about on Capitol Hill right now, you have Nancy Mace going through this whole thing with this man wanting to use the facilities
in the Congress,
of other women.
In the Congress.
Yes. And she's saying, no, we don't need to do this. Now, there's no dress code, apparently, asked John Fetterman. But if you want it, and John Fetterman still uses the appropriate restroom. At some point, reality needs to kick in and you need to stick with it. But the U.S. military, of all entities, most definitely need to stick with it, because if you're on the combat, right, you're in combat and you're on a field, on a battlefield, you're absolutely right. The enemy's not going to go, well, he has on the dress and so does he, but they don't. So we have to leave them alone and go for them. But you know what, Barry? Some people will use that as, well, that's the very reason why it should be okay for them to be there then. No, you're in the military, you're a man, you be in the military uniform. Straight down the middle, cut to the edge. Stop doing this woke DEI. But you know what? DEI, Barry, died on November 5th. And it's on a respirator right now. And they're trying to keep it alive, but you got Walmart. We're going to get into it. Walmart. You got all these other companies, and you've been bringing it up, drilling the DEI for years since they've been pushing this. And every time you bring it up and you show them Tractor, Deere, Bud Light, Target, all of these companies, and now they're all starting to get away with it. And I'm pretty sure you heard the latest one, right?
Oh yeah, they're bringing back the logo. You know why? The family of that chief, who was a very famous warrior, they were so proud of his facial features as the Redskin logo. They were heartbroken when it was taken away from them.
Yeah, Barry, to me, that, you know what that tells me? That says they're strong, they're champions,
they're scary,
brave. They're ready to go into the battle. They're scary, right? You know, for the right reasons. There was nothing to denigrate them. And you know what? I saw that story, Barry. You know what else I want to come back?
What's that?
Ain't your mama
is coming back. And you know what? Her family was heartbroken because they lived off of those royalties. And they said,
Yeah.
Aunt Jemima was really their aunt, and she was this fantastic cook. She designed the syrup.
And when you hear the story, how that took place and what she had to go through to get there, to get where she was, it's heartbreaking that they actually crushed that. And you know who's the one that's crushed it? Can I say it, Barry? Can I
Sure.
say it? It's okay if I say it. White liberals.
Yeah,
They were the ones that was
we know
offended,
better
not
for
black
you
people.
than you know for you. That's what it is.
It's so crazy. It's so crazy.
Well, you don't know how to use the internet. You don't have a cell phone. We know what's right for you. Let us take care of you because
Yeah.
you're just not able. And
Yeah.
the family lost a fortune. They were being paid royalties for the use of her face and her name. They're ecstatic now.
Yep. They should
They're
bring it back.
ecstatic.
Yeah, it should come back.
Well, before we move on, I want to thank everybody. It's Thanksgiving time for tuning in and being our. Did I lose everybody for a second? Sorry about that. For being our unwavering supporter, we really appreciate it. As you guys know, we're under intense scrutiny. There's been unbelievable amounts of censorship. Please go to findberry.com, sign up to be on our mailing list. You don't have to put any money in. We're going to send you the content for free, but at least we know you're going to get it. But if you make a donation, we're really appreciative. Findberry.com, and that will take you to American Truth Project, where you can sign up to get all of our content absolutely for free, because, well, that's kind of the way we do it. Here's some news, which I'm shocked by this. I did not know this till I saw this video. The Biden administration, it's on camera, I'm going to show you the video, has been offering voter registration cards to tens of millions of illegal aliens. It's a criminal deportable offense to sign a voter registration card if you're not a citizen. You get deported for that. The extent of the crime is out of control. Here it is on video, Rosemary Jenks explaining. Watch this.
Jenks with the Immigration Accountability Project. As Senator Lee said, we estimate that there are upwards of 30 million non-citizens, so foreign-born who have not naturalized and are therefore ineligible to vote under our laws. The problem that we have now is that the Biden administration, there's a Biden executive order that orders all federal agencies to provide voter registration information to everyone they come in contact with. We also know that state election officials are not permitted to ask for proof of citizenship for applicants who fill out the federal form. So if you're a non-citizen in this country, whether you're an asylum seeker or a foreign student or whatever, if a government official hands you a voter registration form, you're going to think that you need to fill it out. Then you are going to be unlawfully registered to vote. If you vote, it is a deportable criminal offense. So I want to just do a little public service announcement here and say, if you are not a citizen of the United States of America, you are ineligible to vote. And if you vote, you are committing a criminal deportable offense. We need to pass the SAVE Act and secure our elections. Thank you.
Wow. Tens of millions.
Yeah.
You were talking about this for the last 6 months, which was you predicted, and I got to hand it to you. You called it 6 months ago. Trump's going to win the real vote. But then what's going to happen when the fake votes come in? If what she says had widespread traction and they had a few million extra people from Venezuela or Mexico or Honduras or Ecuador or China or Russia or wherever signed up and they voted. Remember, if you're on the voter rolls, every Democrat state, you can look at the map, cannot require you to show proof of who you are and where you are. It's against the law.
Yeah.
If you whip out your ID in California, like I used to when I lived there, you used to live there, they'd say, We can't ask you for that. Put that away. You can say you're whoever you want to say. You can't ask for ID. You can just say, I'm registered, and they go, okay,
Yeah.
here's your
Yeah.
ballot. And once a ballot is voted, they don't know who voted it. It's
No, they
just
don't.
voted.
No,
It
they
goes
don't.
in the box with everybody else's will. That's why those ballot dumping deals where people go to the old age home and come back with 70 ballots.
And there's
so
only
dangerous.
17 people at the home. Yeah. Imagine
Yeah,
how that works.
and only 2 of them can speak anymore, right?
Yeah.
The other ones
Yeah.
are on life support.
And only 5 of them can walk around, you know? So, Barry, there's a couple of things here. The DNC actually had a lawsuit, and I think it was in Virginia, because they found out they had some of these registered voters on there, and they said, nope, you can't have them here. We got to remove them. The DNC stepped in to sue them to keep them there. Said, no, you can't do this. This is within the 90 days period. You can't remove them. And they were saying this has been an ongoing thing before the 90 days. So what ended up happening appears to be, allegedly, okay, can we say this? Allegedly, it's just an opinion here. It appears that somehow when it became 89 days, their state got flooded with these registrations and these ballots. Just got flooded. And the governor and they said, nope, not going to have it here. We're throwing them all out because they shouldn't be here. The very fact that they tried to do a lawsuit, Barry, and they knew that these were not American citizens and they were fighting so that they could have a vote says everything. And
Well, it's not just cheating. It's illegal. It's go to jail stuff.
Yeah, but Barry, that's just it. They don't care. They didn't care. They anything and everything, nothing is off the table. No matter what it is, no matter how you do it, we have to beat Trump. That was the MO. We have to beat him by any means necessary. And you see how they're reacting now. The cabinet is getting death threats because it didn't work what they did. And of course, like you brought up a minute ago, the DNC, Barry, I wouldn't be surprised if the DNC filed for bankruptcy. It is that bad. It is that bad, Barry.
Well, they can't pay the bills for what they obligated themselves for.
They can't even pay the employees. They can't even pay the employees. I mean, when you have the DNC doing a GoFundMe asking people for money, come on. Come on. I mean, that's pretty bad.
I totally agree. And I might add, you kept saying it's got to be too big to steal, right?
Too big to rig. President Trump mentioned it, and I kept repeating it. 100% correct. It's going to be too big to rig, and that's exactly what happened.
I wonder if the election was actually much farther a victory for Trump than you and I even know.
Oh, 100% it is, because I forget the guy's name. He was on Kamala Harris's campaign, and they were talking about the external polls versus the internal polls. And I kept saying these internal polls are not showing Kamala Harris up. The external polls kept saying that she was up. Remember, before they did the thing to Joe Biden, the COUP, before they did that to Joe Biden, she was the worst VP in American history in the polls, both internally and externally. And then all of a sudden they did the thing to Joe, which I can't say on here because, obvious reasons, but they did the thing to Joe. And then all of a sudden she's higher in the polls than Joe Biden. She's higher in the polls than President Trump. These are the public polls, but the internal polls, she never was in the lead. And then when the debate happened, he said she went up like 1 point, but she was still extremely low. They were lying to the American people.
Well, I'll tell you something. The news is out this morning from the campaign, from the Harris campaign. There was never, ever, ever an internal poll in any state that she lost showing her leading. Not one.
Yeah, not a single one.
And what's worse is, and if I was one of these people with a big checkbook, I'd be so angry right now. They raised hundreds of millions of dollars a week.
Yes.
Look, we're up by 4 points. We're going to win Iowa by 3 points, and they lost by 15. We're ahead in Michigan. We're ahead in Pennsylvania. We're ahead in Georgia. We're up by 1 in Arizona. They lied about all of them. That's how they raise the money, because everybody wants to be on the winning team. Nobody wants to give to the loser. And the truth is, they knew all along she was going to lose, and they raised the money anyway.
They lied to the donors. They got them to pour millions and millions of dollars into her, knowing good and well that she was not in the lead at all in the internal polls. They lied. They told the donors, oh yeah, she's leading in the polls. Our internal polls, she's leading. There's no way that Trump, Barry, they did everything right. They lied about Trump. They said that he was a racist. They said he was a fascist. They tried to unalive him twice. They impeached him twice. They said that he was, sexually assaulting women. They said that he did all of these things. They tried to remove him from the ballot. They did a smear campaign on him. And guess what? To them, they did everything right. There's no way that the American people are going to support a 34 count felon. There's no way. There's no way. We did everything right. Boop. Bubbles got popped. And now they're scrambling. They don't know how to, and now they're upset, Barry. I mean, there's so much we could talk about this.
Will Johnson, that's a perfect segue to our next segment. I have thought a lot, and we talked about this a little bit half an hour ago, about why Donald J. Trump won. And won so big. So big. Think about it. This is such a mandate. He won the House. He won the Senate. He won the popular vote. He won the Electoral College, and none of those were close, right?
Yeah,
and like you said, indictments, lawsuits, going to jail for 100 years. By the way, all those cases are gone now.
Yeah.
He did this, he did that. I think what I'm going to show you right now is why it happened. Here's the reality. Gasoline up 47%, fuel oil up 59%, natural gas 28%, used automobiles up 26%, beef up 20%, pork up 14%. Look at the difference in prices. And she would brag every time she got asked a question, that's Bidenomics. Like everybody that shopped for groceries was retarded and didn't have any idea that groceries cost way more than they used to under Trump, right? They were so out of touch. Look at those numbers, Will. That alone, in my opinion, decided the election. Like they
really
used to say, it's the economy, stupid. Everything else doesn't matter. If you can't feed your wife and kids or your husband, or you're a single mom, or you're struggling to make it, and you're deciding between eggs and butter or milk or water, that's pretty stressful. And when you go in the voting booth, all the cackling in the world, all the feel good, start over, rainbows and unicorn speeches ain't going to pay your grocery bill.
No.
And like if you're a trucker, and you make your living driving groceries across the country, and it costs you twice as much to fill up your tractor trailer, and you're not eating because you had to buy fuel.
Yeah.
You're one unhappy trucker, boy. You are one unhappy trucker, right?
I mean, you know what? And that's the interesting thing is that they kept pushing healthcare. Reproductive rights is what they call it. And it has nothing to do with reproductive. They call it reproductive. They're saying that women are going to vote for her because of reproductive rights. Trump and Republicans trying to take those rights away. But you just put up the list of what women are concerned about. They end up making it in this country where women had to go to work in order to make an income for the family along with the man. They did that. So guess what? Women were concerned about putting food on the table. Women were concerned about putting gas in their vehicles. Women were concerned about keeping the lights on. They're concerned about all of these other things that they were, thinking that women were going to set aside and just concentrate on reproductive rights. And women said, no, I gotta pay these bills too. They alienated all of these women, Barry, that want to have children. They alienated all of these women that believe one day they want to have children. They alienated all of these women that have children. They kicked all of them to the side, thinking that all of them were going to fight for reproductive rights. It ain't nothing about reproductive. All of these women that I just listed off, they're all about reproductive because they reproduce things. And they were kicking all
Well
of them to the
said.
side.
And all of them voted when they pulled that curtain across and they were
Sure
in that voting booth by themselves. They didn't have anything in their purse or their wallet to buy groceries on the way
Nope.
home,
But they
right?
had a vote. But they had a vote, and everybody's vote counts the same, no matter if you're rich or if you're poor, if you're black or if you're white. Your
Yep.
nationality didn't matter. Your vote all counted the same.
100%. Tom Homan is the incoming border czar. And unlike our present border czar, it's hard to believe they both have the same title, right? One is an ex-cop, immigration official, and total badass.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one is a cackling drunk maniac, or so she's called by many people. I actually haven't seen her drunk, but some of her videos suggest that maybe she's imbibing a little bit too much. I
Did
don't
you
know.
see the one last night?
That's the one I'm thinking about.
Yeah, I thought, is she drunk? But anyways,
That's what everybody says. I don't know. I really don't. But I can tell you that Tom Homan is going to be one badass border czar. And here's a picture of him. He looks about as serious in this picture as he is in real life. He was in immigration under the Obama administration. He worked for Trump the first time as acting director of Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE. And now he's taking over and he is talking about he is going to be the guy that's going to implement this mass deportation of all the illegal aliens. And I got news for you. And this is shocking to me. Do you know that one of the biggest groups supporting deportation of illegals are legal Hispanics? The ones that are legally here?
Oh, yeah.
Because they're saying, hey, I waited 5 years for my papers. I had to do did it. And you climbed over the fence and you got a phone and you stay at the Hilton and you got a Visa card, right? And you're getting free medical and now you're getting student loans. Back of the line. Get out.
Yeah.
They are fully in support, which is why Trump carried Texas and Arizona in landslides.
Yes.
Those are border states.
Well, see, the Democrats were using their nationality the same way they use it against Jewish people, the same way they use it against black people, the same way they use it against anybody. These are your people. This is what they do. These are your people. And they're coming across. You need to support them. So you need to vote for us in support of them. And these people are law-abiding citizens. And I said, look, I did what I was supposed to do. And now you're going to do this. And so everything I did, just throw it out the window. It's meaningless. It's pointless. And then you're going to make me pay for them too. I don't care where they're from. It's just like you have people in Chicago, Chirac, that's, doing extra activity on the weekend. Pew, 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 pew. And guess what? I'm black. I don't have anything to do with that. But because the left, they look at it based on color, nationality, etc., I'm supposed to be in support of it because those are my people. No, they're not. No, they're not. It's so sickening that they do that.
But they have all those gun-free zone signs up all over Chicago. Will, I don't think you know this. It's illegal to carry a gun in those neighborhoods.
It really is. You have to get a permit, and it's very difficult to get that permit. And you know what else, Barry? With the whole thing about them, these people coming into the country illegally, shouldn't be here in the first place. Homan, and like you said, he's a piece of work. He's done more. And January 20th haven't even gotten here yet. He's done more for the border than she has in the past 3.5 freaking years. He's done more. And all he's done is just, hey, we're coming. We're coming. And these governors and these mayors, oh, Barry, I can't wait to January 20th get here because it's going to be a show.
Well,
It's going to be a show.
let me ask you this, and then we're going to move on. The mayor of Denver, as an example, who's a complete idiot, has said that he's not going to allow ICE into Denver. And he's going to have his police and staff literally obstruct the arrest of these illegal criminals. And Tom Homan says, well, at least the mayor of Denver and I agree. He's willing to go to jail over this, and I'm willing to put him in jail over this.
Yep.
We're in agreement.
Yep.
I bet you $1 to donuts when push comes to shove and they start marching in the buses to round these people up, these big time talking mayors and governors are going to get real quiet real fast.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. As soon as they started doing one, they started doing two. And you know, they're gonna be like, okay, well, they're actually being for real. Because they've never seen anything like it. They're gonna actually have the law actually being implemented. And that's what they don't want. See, those on the left, they reject the law because they're lawless. They like the looting, they like the violence, they like the crime, they like the gangs. They'll bail you out if you get caught doing criminal activity. They'll even make a statue of you. And even I call them the witches of the view. The witches of the view were even complaining about Latinos supporting President Trump and not necessarily calling them racist. I think it was Sunny, if I'm not mistaken, saying this because she considered herself Latino. She was complaining about it, and come to find out, she was saying that they were misogynists now, Barry. Misogynist because Harris was a woman. Like that has something to do with it. Her sexuality had nothing to do with it. Absolutely nothing. It was because she kept talking about today is tomorrow's tomorrow. And because tomorrow is today, is today's tomorrow. What in the world? I have no idea what she's talking about.
I feel like I'm getting stupid just listening to that. I'm losing IQ points. I shouldn't have to listen to that. It's really messing me up.
But we kept hearing about that. We kept hearing about that and her middle-aged upbringing. Really?
No. Middle class upbringing. They had a lawn. Remember?
Yeah, middle class.
Class. They had a lawn.
Yeah. And she's going through midlife. So right now, actually the video that she was on last night, they said that she's someone mentioned to me that the reason why she's doing the video is because of her donors. Her donors need to hear something from her. So that's the only reason why she did that. And she's, with her look like she might be intoxicated. It's brought to my attention that she just might be. Now we don't know, we're speculating here that she just might be extremely depressed. I'd be depressed too.
Oh yeah.
If we done all this stuff to Trump, we lied to you about everything about him and you still didn't buy it, I'd be depressed too.
You spent over $1 billion and you overspent by 20 million and people are coming to you for the money.
Yeah.
And at the same time, you're going, hey, can I run again in 2028? She's already campaigning. She's already campaigning. And the donors are running, not walking, running in the other direction.
Yeah, she's done. She's done.
Well, speaking about runners, good segue there. There's two female high school cross-country runners in California that are suing the Riverside Unified School District after being told their T-shirts that oppose male athletes playing in girls' sports were the same thing as wearing a swastika. Now, for those that need a little education, the swastika was the symbol of the Nazis and everything the Nazis represented, among other things, mass genocide of an entire race of people. They killed 6 million men, women, and children that were Jewish. They killed gypsies. They killed homosexuals. They slaughtered Russians. They think it's over 10 or 12 million people in direct murder. That's what the swastika represents. The T-shirt the girls wore is this: Save Girls Sports. They're idiot teacher and principal, the athletic director at Martin Luther King High School. It's the assistant principal and the athletic director. Her name is Amanda Chan. Said, cover this up. This is like swastikas on your shirts. Are you hearing me? Now, this is when men in girls' sports are hurting girls. We've seen the videos.
Oh, yeah.
Literally.
Oh, yeah.
Preventing them from getting scholarships to college, preventing them from winning after training for 10 years in swimming and track and cross country and volleyball and so on. But that idiot who knows nothing about history, she's an assistant principal, and the athletic director said, that's the same as the Nazis.
Yeah,
So,
I saw that story. That's pretty, I mean, right down despicable. Actually, I'm surprised if the parents of the students don't have a lawsuit against them, because that's
well, no,
threatening.
they are suing. They are
Yeah,
suing.
they should be. Yeah, they should, because that's threatening. I mean, my daughter going to school wanted to be on a track team or a wrestling team, straight girls, volleyball, and then you're gonna have this male on there, and the male ends up hurting my daughter. I'm gonna be upset. I mean,
With good reason.
any rational thinking parent would be upset. But let me remind everybody: the current administration labeled parents that showed up to school board meetings wanting to defend and protect their children as domestic terrorists. So they have no issue with this. This is the reason why they're terrified of President Trump's cabinet coming in, getting rid of the school education at the federal level, because all of this DEI, this wokeism, forcing girls to compete with little boys, that's going to come to an end. It's going to come to an end. And all of these teachers, they should know better. Especially if you're a can I even say it? Biological teacher.
Yeah, biology teacher.
Biology. Thank you. I don't know why I can't get out. I'm halfway there. Biology teacher. If you're a biology teacher, hello.
I
It's the
totally
same
get
thing
it.
with a math teacher. 2 + 2 = 4. But
Well, no, that's
teacher,
remember we had a show on that. One gal said that's racist.
yeah, but all that's gonna go away too.
Yeah.
We're
I'll
gonna
tell you
get back
something.
to
One
reality.
of the plaintiffs lost her spot on her varsity team to a biological male student who was dressing up as a girl. That's how messed up this school is in Riverside. And then for wearing the shirt, saving girls sports, she was told, take the shirt off. That's like the Nazis.
That's
It's
despicable.
completely nuts. Completely nuts. Celebrity endorsements, we've talked about this a lot, had virtually no effect on the election, as best as we can tell, maybe less than that. I wanted to start off with a screenshot. I can't play it. This is Megan Thee Stallion. And the reason I can't play it is
It's inappropriate for children and family members.
when I played it last time, we got banned. Literally banned, because the lyrics are pornographic. I'm not joking. The lyrics are pornographic. And we literally had the video shut down by Facebook for playing the video that was nationally televised by the
Is that a campaign event? It should be public access.
This was her coming out party in Atlanta, right?
Yep.
And it was advertised as a Megan Thee Stallion concert for Kamala Harris. And she started out doing her, shall we say,
her twerk.
Yeah, her very sexual dance / rap. And as soon as she finished, half the crowd left. Why? Because they had no interest in Kamala Harris being president or listening to Kamala Harris. They were there for Megan Thee Stallion, whose lyrics, when we put on the mailer that we sent out, got us in trouble. Because, well, how should I say? They are pornographic. And the idea that she is going to be at a, what's the right word? A major political event is outrageously inappropriate.
Like, whose idea was it? Right? Whose
I,
idea was it to bring her up there, shaking her stuff like that? I think it was one of these 23-year-old interns that she had working on her campaign, and they just listened to it and they just did it.
you mean they hired a professional 23-year-old idiot, had no experience, and came up with this as a great idea to
Yeah.
let
What's his name?
this
What's his name?
this will be worth 1 million votes.
Yeah. What is his name? James Carbo. Am I saying his name right?
James Carville. Yeah, he is.
Yeah, James.
He's using nothing but 4-letter words right now. He's so mad.
Yes,
so mad.
yes. You saw that video, right? He's some of the 23-year-olds making the decision.
Yeah, if you listen to him, these were the dumbest people in the history of campaigning, and he's probably right. Well, keep in mind though, they had a horrible candidate. Come on, Will. I mean,
the
was
candidate,
really
Barry, they didn't want to get someone who was smarter than her. That's the reason why they picked Tim Walz, because she didn't want to be, someone shadowing over her, causing a shadow on her and getting more attention than her. They needed people that look like that she was the smart one. They did this to themselves, Barry. And you know what? I'm glad they did it. They exposed themselves. They did so much damage, not only to the DNC, but look at CNN, MSDNC. Elon might purchase MSDNC right now. They're all crying about that. Like, is this even possible? He's made X where people have freedom of speech. What is he going to do to MSDNC?
That's I'm crying along with you. We're going to end today with Walmart news. Walmart they're the largest retailer in the world, as everyone knows. I mean, billions and billions and billions and billions. They have come out with a groundbreaking announcement the last couple days. They are officially ending their DEI program worldwide. I think they've come to the conclusion that DEI not only doesn't work, it is very expensive. This is what the CEO said. Quote, "We've been on a journey and no, we aren't perfect, but every decision comes from a place of wanting to foster a sense of belonging, to open doors to opportunities for all our associates, customers, and suppliers, and to be a Walmart for everyone." And then he went on about all the mistakes they made with their DEI. A lot of people have said DEI does not stand for diversity, equity, inclusion. It stands for didn't earn it.
Yeah.
And that's so true. We're a culture that has always rewarded people's expression of excellence. And if you're not excellent, you go to the back of the line, or you don't even make it into the line. And that's what's made America great. And all this stuff on the campaign trail by Kamala Harris, talking about equity, equity of outcome, because people aren't starting in the same place and everyone has to end up in the same place. My God, man, that's Karl Marx. That's right out of Karl Marx's book, Das Kapital, about how socialism creates everybody the same. Like Tim Walz said, isn't it great in China? The doctor makes the same as the bricklayer, makes the same as the person that cleans the street. And to him, that's a good thing. So why would you want to spend the money to become a doctor if you make the same as a street cleaner? You wouldn't.
No.
Why would you want to work hard to be better? You wouldn't. You would just do the minimum, knowing somebody's going to support you. You're going to pay me for being average. And they're figuring it out. It doesn't work.
Yeah, that just prevents companies from growing. It prevents nations from expanding. It prevents people from being innovative. If DEI played a part in Elon Musk's X project, SpaceX, he would never ever get a rocket off the ground if DEI came into place. And it's interesting, Barry, that all of these people on the left screaming about DEI, but they wouldn't listen to a hip hop artist if the hip hop artist was there because of DEI. They have to be good. Bruce Springsteen, I don't care for him, but he has some good songs. Barbara Streisand, I don't care for her, but she has some good songs. Cher, I don't care for her either, but she has some good songs. Eminem, I don't care for him. He has some good songs. I mean, just what it is. You have these jobs. I don't care for them, but I'll be denying saying that some of them are not good actors. That's just the point. DEI didn't put them there because they're good at what they do put them there. It's just the opposite. And it's like they can't figure that out.
You want to know how much Walmart was spending on DEI? $100 million a year.
Wow.
$100 million. And Robbie Starbuck, the guy that's been going after all these companies, he got Ford to cancel. He got John Deere to cancel. He got Tractor Supply to cancel, right? He's been fantastic. And he goes to these companies and said, you're going to make a lot more money getting rid of this because people have just had it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's very proud of Walmart joining the ranks of Toyota and Lexus and Ford, saying, okay, we give up. You guys don't want it. We don't want it. We have crap employees we can't get rid of because we hired them because they're transsexual or they're gay or they're fat or they're thin or they're Cuban or, it's all about identity instead of quality of work.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to come to work, but we couldn't fire them because of DEI. It's out. And the last bastion of it, as we talked about earlier today, is the U.S. military. And that's Pete Hegseth's job when he gets in to fire everybody that was promoting DEI.
Yep. I think they're thinking about replacing DEI with MEI, merit, experience, and intelligence.
I like it. You mean the way things are supposed to be the way they always were?
Oh my goodness, what an epiphany.
As we go, I want to remind everybody, tomorrow's Thanksgiving. We have so much to be thankful for. And here at American Truth Project, we so appreciate your support. Please go to findbarry.com on your browser. Sign up to get all of our information. You want to make a donation? We appreciate you. Same thing for Unite America First. Will, happy Thanksgiving, my friend. We have so much to be grateful for, living in the best and greatest country the earth has ever had.
Absolutely.
Bye for now, y'all. We will see you next week on our regular time because it's not Thanksgiving next week.